The two-state solution didn't work, hasn't worked, won't work, and in my opinion shouldn't work because it's unjust. It's unjust to us and it's unjust to them. And I think the only solution that can work is one where we both feel like winners in a one-state reality.
Welcome back. We'll take some questions at this point from our studio audience.
I think at the political level, also political leaders in the U.S. and even the parties in the Israeli government, that everybody is really stuck right now only looking at the two-state solution and not really being willing to consider other possibilities. And I think the only place that really there's a siach, like a talking about potential possibilities that aren't just two-state solution is at the grassroots level. So I'm curious how each of you see the opportunity of being able to move that discussion from other possibilities from the grassroots to the more talked-down processes.
I think the challenge with I think you're right, that the two-state solution didn't work, hasn't worked, won't work, and in my opinion shouldn't work because it's unjust. It's unjust to us and it's unjust to them. And I think the only solution that can work is one where we both feel like winners in a one-state reality. In order to make that viable, in order to make that conversation happen, I think we have to really point to what that can look like. For me, I think right now, for example, Israel today is a European-style nation state with superficial Jewish decorations. Those decorations are too Jewish for the Palestinians, too othering for the Palestinians, and not Jewish enough for Haredim. And Haredim are important too, because like Palestinians, Haredim are one of the fastest growing populations between the river and the sea. I would suggest moving towards and maybe this is part of a post-colonial process, actually asking ourselves, what does it mean to have a Jewish state? What makes a state Jewish? Just like we should ask what makes a state democratic. I think the Jewish character of a state needs to become a lot deeper than it is right now, so that every Haredi child recognizes the Jewishness and his values being expressed in the policies and institutions of the state, but also much softer than it is right now. Meaning instead of a shallow, hard Jewish identity, our state should have a soft, deep Jewish identity. And for Palestinians, it should just be like a state where we're fully included and fully equal and having a great time. And even for Jews with like barely any Jewish education, it should be barely noticeable, the Jewishness. But for those of us who care and want a Jewish state, we should be experiencing that very, very deeply in the entire land. And that means that the actual, not the skin of the state, but the actual skeleton and the organs of the state, the values and the identity expressed, should be deeply Jewish.
I excel, then